Well, you'll never guess what happened to me as an Airbnb host. I don't even know where to start. I'm so upset right now with the platform. I have to come on and share this experience with all of you, and my hope is that I can reach out to another host, potentially who could prevent them from running into this same situation and knowing how to deal with it in the future. But also maybe this has happened to you as a host, or even as a guest, you have a nightmare that has happened to you with regards to your account being suspended on Airbnb. But you'll never guess what happened and why this happened. Essentially, I was removed from the Airbnb platform. They suspended my account, which removed my listing, and you'll never guess what for. It's absolutely ridiculous. I can't even believe that someone would even say that this made any bit of sense. Anybody with half a brain would understand that this is very common, and I can't wait to share this with you. And like I said, hopefully maybe even one of you is a host and you've experienced a similar issue. But today is Friday, it's December 1st, 2023. It's a brand new month, and hard to believe there's only 1 month left in 2023. Crazy, time flies. But I wanted to come on and share my experience. It was 1 week ago today that Airbnb suspended my account, and they did not even send me a message. They did not call me, they did not text me, they did not email me, anything, message me through the app at all to let me know that my account was suspended. So 1 week ago, last Friday, a week ago from today, I logged onto my Airbnb app and I went to change the pricing on a particular day. And I noticed that it wasn't allowing me to unblock the day. And I thought, and somebody in a group on Facebook that I'm in, on an Airbnb host group, they said that sometimes there's these glitches where the days will just show canceled or blocked, and then they have to go in and open them up for some reason. That has never happened to me, but basically a week ago on Friday, that happened to me, and I wasn't able to unblock them. I would click open night, and then it would go back to blocked. So then I closed the app, relaunched it, I re-downloaded the app. I thought maybe there was a glitch, and then after probably about 15-20 minutes of troubleshooting, I said, what are the odds that my Airbnb account is suspended? So I contacted Airbnb, and sure enough, they said your account's been suspended for 5 days because of a safety issue. And they wouldn't tell me why. It's now been over 5 days. My account is still suspended. So they lied to me in that regard. And then I called about 3 or 4 different times. I hadn't heard from anybody. I never received an email. No one ever got in touch with me. I called 3 or 4 times, and they continued to just say that there is no direct line for the safety department. They will contact you. Your case is being worked on. And then after 4 calls, I think it was, I finally got them to give me some information, and they told me what the booking was, like who it was and what date it was on. But I still couldn't figure out what I did wrong, and I truly believe I did not do anything wrong. So I spoke to someone today from the safety team. They were late calling me back. They said they called me between 9 and 10 a.m. local time. They were late. They were about half an hour late calling me. And I finally heard from somebody. And she said, I'm from the Airbnb safety department. This has to do with a reservation. Do you have any idea why I'm calling? And I'm like, absolutely not. And I've been dying to talk to somebody. I haven't the foggiest. I have no idea what I did wrong. So as she started to explain it, she said, oh, you didn't get an email or anything like that your account was suspended? That's strange. She said, I heard that there was some glitches in the system. Okay. That's convenient, right? And anyways, even if there was a glitch, it still took someone a week to get back to me. Not even to, figure it out. It's not even figured out yet. It's still ongoing. My account's still suspended. After they told me it was going to be suspended for 5 days, it's now been over 5 days. Anyways, wrapping up here. She said it had to do with a fire alarm that went off in your building. And my Airbnb is in a condo, right? So it's in a condominium. And there's over 200 units in the condo, right? So there's fire alarms, obviously. And what had happened was at like 8:27 in the morning it would have been on November 20th, my guest messaged me on the Airbnb app and said, there's a fire alarm and fire trucks outside. What do I do? Well, this person was also a host, so I have no idea how he didn't know what to do. I mean, it's a fire alarm. You go outside and you follow the signage and go to the exit, right? Don't use the elevators like it's just a normal thing, right? So anyways, I was just waking up and I didn't see my phone. And I messaged him probably like 20 minutes later or like 10 minutes later. And I said, just seeing this now, sorry to hear about this inconvenience. Is everything sorted out now? And he said, yes, the fire alarm stopped and the trucks are gone. So basically it was a false alarm. And then that all happened within like 40 minutes. So then I said, apologies for waking you up if it woke you up. And he said, no, essentially, that didn't matter because I barely sleep anyway, is what he said. And then his smiley face. Then the guest left me a 5-star review, but he also contacted Airbnb and logged a safety issue. So then Airbnb said, if this happens again, essentially we will ban your account again and suspend all reservations. We'll remove all reservations. So they want me to basically make it so there's never, ever, ever a fire drill. Someone could accidentally bump the fire, they could accidentally pull it. Like a kid could do it as a prank. There could be an actual fire, right? And even if there was, it could be someone above me in the next unit, right? The next owner above, they could have something in the oven and maybe it burns, right? Maybe there is no fire at all and they trigger the alarm and there actually is no fire. But even if there was a fire, how is that under my control? As long as I have alarms working in my unit, right? And fire, smoke detectors, all that good stuff. And those are, not expired and they're working, functioning properly. How is that my problem? So lightning could strike the building and cause a fire, and that's my responsibility. I should be suspended from Airbnb as a result, and all my reservations canceled. Like, this is absolutely ludicrous. This is ridiculous. And one person I talked to about this, another host said, what do they want you to do? Remove all the fire alarms in the building? Will that satisfy them? Like, I mentioned this to the building security and the management company of my condo, and they just absolutely laughed. They called them, well, a pretty bad curse word, effing idiots, basically, right? And they're just absolutely dumbfounded. Like, how can this be an issue? Like, how many other hosts does this happen to, right? How many condominiums are listed on Airbnb? And if this has affected you, please let me know. Please reach out and make sure to tag Airbnb, share this video with your network. I'll give you some other opportunities though, and some suggestions. So one thing I wanted to bring up here real quickly is that when this all happened, I guess it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I was already listed on VRBO or VRBO, and I do like this app, but to be honest, I had maybe half a dozen bookings in all of 2023. So I had it on my to-do list to sign up for Booking.com. And I'm glad that this kind of happened to a certain degree with this Airbnb debacle, because it kind of motivated me and made me sign up for Booking.com a lot earlier, right? Because I had it on my to-do list, but it was kind of just off by the wayside on the back burner. And then I signed up for Booking.com, and before I could even fill out all of the information about my listing, I already had a booking. And I was like, what? Whoa, I didn't even set a damage deposit. I didn't even create any house rules or anything like that. So I was a little worried, actually. And then it was kind of a funny story because of they're based in the Netherlands. They were actually, their time zone said they were on the 26th of November. And I think it was the 20th. Yeah, it said, as of the 26th, we're now handling your payments. And then as I was setting it up, it said, do you want to handle the payments or go through Booking.com? And I was like, oh yeah, I don't want to handle that. Like, I'm not a hotel. I can understand if you're a hotel, but I don't want to accept cash or debit card. I'm just a person and I'm not even going to be on site, right? This is all remote check-in and everything. So I was like, no, I want you to handle it. But their system was from the Netherlands. I'm from Mountain Time here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And my calendar was still on the 25th. So because I set it up on the 25th, but the Netherlands was in the 26th, technically the system wasn't smart enough to figure out that, it should just be you handle my payments from now on, any reservations. But anyway, hopefully they can get that fixed with my feedback, right? And I don't mind I had all these great ideas for Airbnb as well, but now I'm probably not going to give them my ideas and feedback. Maybe I'll reach out to VRBO or I'll reach out to Booking.com and give them these suggestions to help their platforms, because I'm going to start recommending, when I go to book as a guest now, I'm going to start looking at VRBO. I'm going to start looking at Booking.com, because Airbnb has gotten too big, too quick, and they think that they have a monopoly on this industry. And when you get that big, that quick, with that many cases, and your service it starts to degrade, right? And people, my friend said he was a guest, and there was something. He's just a guest, not even a host, and something happened where there was some fraud with his credit card or something like that, and they basically suspended his account as well. Like, had nothing to do, like he had no control over it. It's just absolutely laughable. And like I said, if this is happening to me, it's just crazy to think of how many people this is happening to. But anyways, long story short, I got this booking, and I didn't even finish setting up my account, and I had to handle the payment, and she had to send me an e-transfer. But anyway, the next day I had another booking on booking.com, and because it was the 26th now, they just handled the payment and everything went through booking.com. So that was awesome. And then they just transferred it into my bank account. And, you know, I have the liability of $1 million through them as well. And then also the damage deposit, I was able to configure that. But nothing happened with the other reservation. And booking.com has been fantastic. I've had 5 bookings now in a week, which is basically the same amount of bookings as I had as VRBO in a whole year. And if you're a host, you got to check out booking.com because, like I said, in a week I've had 5 bookings, and now, you know, this is business at Airbnb. I was a very loyal Airbnb host. I mean, I'll still continue to use the platform, assuming they unsuspend me, assuming they open up and reactivate my account, but I'm certainly not going to be promoting it to friends and family. And I hear from people all the time that they're boycotting it. They're using other alternatives. And, you know, I'm going to be keeping on track on Google Trends as well to see if, like, Airbnb alternatives, to see if that's a trend that's growing. But this just happens, right? Same thing with Uber. Uber got, you know, so big so quickly, and then other companies like Lyft started to come along. And Airbnb won't be the king forever because of this reason, right? So I submitted a formal complaint and everything. I'm waiting for a manager to call me back. I'm still waiting for this person to finish my review of my account and investigation. So what I had to do was essentially they said, we need a letter with your signature and the date and the name of the condo and everything else that, you know, that bunch basically sign away my soul. And then I had the management company of my condominium, the manager, sign off and say there was no actual fire in the building or in the unit during this guest stay. So I'm just at a loss. I can't believe that this is even, like, humanly fathomable that this could be a mistake. Like, how could this even, obviously there's drills, there could be unforeseen circumstances, there could be actual fires, but how is that, you know, an act of God could happen? How is that my responsibility? I could understand even if it was just like a house and there was nobody living in the house and somebody was renting out an entire home and it, you know, there was a fire alarm, maybe. But I mean, in a condominium with 200 plus units, it just makes absolutely no sense to me. And like I said, I'm at a loss. I don't even know how long it's going to be until they reinstate my account. But I would love for somebody to reach out and tell me that this has helped them. You know, I'll continue to update everybody as well. Maybe I'll do another video once I have it fully resolved. And then once I hear back from my complaint, I speak to a manager and all that good stuff. I'll give everybody an update on my experience on the resolution piece. But would love to hear if anybody else, any hosts, have had their accounts suspended. Have you had your account suspended? If so, why? And how is it rectified? Because I would love to mitigate this in the future. I thought about adding something to my house rules, like you agree to contact the host and not Airbnb in support in the event of a fire alarm, whether it be actual or testing or something. But then I thought maybe it was a fine line in a gray area that Airbnb might have something to say about that. So I'm going to contact Airbnb and ask them about how I could put that into the house rules. But at the end of the day, this is very disappointing, very, very unprofessional, and just terrible policy and lack of logic. I mean, absolute. And they were just acting like a bully, you know. It's like, if this happens again, we will ban you indefinitely and we will cancel all your reservations. And then they said, we take these safety issues very seriously. And I'm thinking, okay, well, me and the client, the guest, we resolved it inside the Airbnb app and texting through the app in like less than 40 minutes. And you are telling me that you take this issue very seriously, and you're now a week and a half before you even investigate, before you even call us back? Oh my God, like, this is absolutely unacceptable, and I will not be going down easily. I expect compensation for this absolute ludicrous, like, handling of this situation, and I expect that, you know, Airbnb has to do something about this. And I will be, like I said, I've logged a formal complaint, and I will be on any surveys, any kind of feedback that I get from them. They'll be getting a terrible, terrible review. And like I said, I'm going to be when I book as a guest, I'm going to be looking at other competitors like VRBO and Booking.com. And now that I'm a host on other platforms, I'm just going to let them have my business as opposed to Airbnb. And then if anybody asks any recommendations as a host, what do I recommend for other hosts? I'm going to tell them that Airbnb, until they get this rectified, that I don't recommend it. I mean, obviously you can still have your listing on there, but I'm going to strongly recommend that you sign up for VRBO and Booking.com. And I'm very, very impressed with what I've seen so far with Booking.com. And maybe I'll do another video on how to set that up and things like that, do's and don'ts and tricks and things like that to help everybody out. But going into it there, it's Rod with Pal Group. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like the video, share it. I would appreciate it. And give me your feedback. What's your experience been with Airbnb so far? Have you had any nightmares, and how did it get rectified? All right, have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you again on the next video.